Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a Friday on a special show in which we're going to be talking about how the criminal justice system is also an immigration issue. My name is Yanet. I am the immigration justice organizer with the Virginia Interfaith, and here with me are some badasses working on to stop the 287G program in Prince William. When I tell you all of these people are working in the grounds, and all these people have been doing this advocacy for longer than I have. But like as mentioned, our title of our show is criminal justice is an immigration issue. But before I explain to that, how is that relating to this topic, I want to go ahead and introduce our speakers. Evelyn, would you go first? Can you tell us who you are, where you work, and why you are so passionate about ending the 287G program?
Yeah, thank you so much, Janet, for the opportunity. My name is Evelyn Urritia. I am the Executive Director of Tenants and Workers United. We are a nonprofit organization that has been around for more than 35 years, working with the immigrant community. I live in Prince William, so I'm really motivated to work to end this program because I have lived through it. I have been living here for 20 years. I know how this have really affecting not just only me and my personal level with my family, but also my community as a whole community in Prince William. And it's time to really work and end this program.
Yes, and Louise, can you tell us about you and who you work with?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me for the Virginia Interfaith Center. I am Louisa Yola. I am organizer with Legal Aid Justice Center. In this job, my personal focus is what we call our DICE Virginia campaign, which seeks to end the incarceration to deportation pipeline, because there's just so many ways in which the incarceration system and criminalization of Black and Brown people, particularly Black and Brown immigrants, is used as a way to funnel them into the deportation machine and ICE and break up families, break up communities. So this is the effort to end 287G is a way to end the harm caused by that deportation pipeline.
Yes, thank you. And one of my friends in what we call in Spanish in la lucha, in the fight, is here with us. Brenda, can you tell us who you are? I mean, you've been an activist along with me for in-state tuition, but can you tell us who are you working with now and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Brenda Medrano-Frias. I am the senior advisor for Supervisor Margaret Angela Franklin, who represents the Woodbridge district, which is the second highest district with the highest Latinx population and the highest non-citizen population. So our constituents are made up of the immigrant community and the undocumented community. So it's something that's very important to us and very near and dear to our heart, that we are being as inclusive as possible and righting as many wrongs as we can from our previous board back in 2007, which was awful.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining it. But before I start asking questions, I want to kind of explain to our viewers why immigration justice is also a criminal justice system, an issue. I'm sorry. So first, we have to understand, or we have to see that immigration is a racial justice issue. The immigration laws have disproportionately led to the targeting, jailing, and destruction of families of colors, with minor contact with the criminal justice system can result into deportation. Second, the immigration detentions is the fastest growing incarceration system in the USA. So reducing mass incarceration requires reducing detention. So in other words, mass detention is mass incarceration. And not only that, but it targets the discriminatory criminal justice system leads into what in every stage. So we have the discriminatory policies, the minor contacts that are criminalized, the overcharging and pressures to plead guilty, the disproportioning of sentencing, and the obstacles to moving forward after a conviction. So with that being said, y'all can kind of see that these two issues intertwine and are very important for us to speak up and have these conversations. But with that being said, I wanted to see if Louise can explain to us what is the 287G program and how it came about in Prince William County.
Absolutely. So, I mean, for starters, there's very little about the way that law enforcement, so the criminal justice system, is supposed to entangle with immigration. So there's very little of it that's written in law, whether state, federal law. There's very little that's written in there, because a lot of people don't understand that they're actually two entirely different legal systems. Immigration law is civil law, and criminal law is criminal law. And that entails very different processes and rights for people. But because of the anti-immigrant rhetoric throughout history that has been used against Black and Brown people, the immigration has been sort of conflated with criminality. And out of that rhetoric in the mid-2000s arose a way for local agencies to make collaboration more formal, and this started with the Bush administration through the creation of the 287G agreements. 287G just refers to a section in the Immigration and Naturalization Act that defines ways that localities are able to formally collaborate with ICE. So the two ways that were defined was one through jails and one through police. And I won't go into too much detail, but the Prince William County in 2007 was the first program to start it through Corey Stewart's push. And I think a lot of people watching this know about Corey Stewart's very explicit anti-immigrant rhetorics, right? So that was very tied together. But it empowered both the police and the jail to formally act as immigration officers. The police side of it has actually ended, as actually all police parts of the program ended, I think, around 2012. But the jail version is still there, active to this day, and the jail board has the option to renew it or not renew it.
And thank you for that. And I guess my next question is for Evelyn. You know, you've been in Prince William since this far started. Can you tell us how this program has become such a fear for the community, and how you know it just has become such a divisive issue within Prince William?
Yeah, definitely. I moved to Prince William in 2001. 2007, it was a shock for everyone. It was really devastating to our community. We were protesting. We were trying to stop this program to be implemented. A lot of our community members left Prince William, and they have not been able to return. We see that it still is a lot of damage to our community. There is a lot of lack of trust between the community and the police department. There is a lot of things that are happening that people don't report it, because we know that this program was in place and is still in place, and we still have some policy in Prince William that are really racist. And everything started in 2007, and people have lived through it. It's really damaging to our community, and it still is, because at the time the people is being put in the hands of the jail department, they are processing not just only in one way, but also they're processing for immigration status, right? If they're not, if they don't have no documentations, they will end up probably deporting, and that's a big issue because we look at it as it's really damaging to our community. It's really separating our families. We have parents who have been deported, and then we have the kids living in the city without mom or without dad. So it's still at this point really damaging, and it's still in the mind of everyone who lived through it and everyone from the outside to look at Prince William as a racist county. It is there. We live it through it. We are in our community. Our community is really afraid of police department, is really afraid of the sheriff department, and that is the reason. And this is the history that is behind the 287G. Is the history that is behind Prince William County. And I think we are at the point that we need to change that type of policy. We are at the point that we have to ensure that everyone is welcome to our county. We are part of this community. We work with, we contribute to that society. We should be knowledgeable and we should be respected. And I think with the 287G in place, we're still looking at ahead that changes need to happen.
Well said, really well said, Evelyn. Thank you. Brenda, you know, I did mention that you and I have worked on immigrants' rights since we were in high school together, and now you are doing, you know, you're working with the supervisor, and you have been leading this issue within, you know, within our local, within the locality. So, like, can you tell us why and why you took this issue and why this issue is so important to you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And really, I mirror Evelyn's statements exactly. I mean, Prince William County is fed up. We are. We have had way too many years of discrimination, injustice, and flat out racism. And that's really what's led us to the point where we are now. And, you know, when I say it's really time to right the wrongs of our previous board, that's absolutely what it is. So, you know, as I said, our demographic, our constituency is very highly Latinx, very highly immigrant, non-citizen, and undocumented folks. So we just want to make sure that we are actually speaking out for our community and we are doing the best that we can for our community. 2007 was a horrid year. It was the year of a lot of racism, injustice, not just with 287G, but with several resolutions that were passed by the previous board. So this is just one step in a multi-step process to really make sure that our community is equal and just here in Prince William County.
Yes, of course. So I know that Evelyn, Tenants Workers United have been one of the, you know, leads on this issue. Could you tell us what has the activism look in the grounds doing this work? Because for me, it's really important that the affected people are in the front lines, you know, making the decisions, fighting along that, you know, as an undocumented immigrant myself, it's, you know, it's really important. So could you tell us how that looks? And, you know, could you also explain to us how, you know, allies can actually come here and help in the program and be an actual ally?
Yeah, no, definitely. Our organizations have been really focusing, working in the ground. We have been in Prince William for the past 3 years, building up for this. Of course, we were part of the 2007 movement, but now 3 years ago, we started working as, you know, in the ground, doing organizing, doing a lot of door knocking, door to door, educating people, and also reminding people, right, that this policy is still in place, that this policy, and also listen to from the community point of view, right? Listen from those people who move just here, what they think about Prince William, what they think about the policies that are in place. Having that one-on-one conversation, it has been overdriven for the past 3 years to a point that we start meeting with supervisors. We start meeting with the county officials and find it out, like, why you're standing on this, right? What is your role on this? We want you to end this. And we know, like Brenda just mentioning, right? This is just a piece of all those policies that exist in Prince William County. We know that this is just moving forward. This is just the beginning, right? So we have been doing a lot of work with our community members. What we're looking for is our community members to really be on the public hearings. And I know that things have changed since COVID-19, and and now it's a little bit hard, right? It's a little bit hard because people have to definitely learn how to use the technology. Now it's not just only the language barrier, it's also the technology, right? And continue being the front line. We have a lot of community meetings almost every week just to talk about what's going on right now with the 287G, how they can be part of this process. And we're looking forward for some of those community members to really be part of this public hearing coming up on June 2nd. It is important for politicians, for our representatives to hear from everyone. And most of the time, the community members that are more affected are not the ones who are on the table. And I think that's what our organization motivation is, to ensure that our community members who live in these communities in disadvantage being part of this process, right? And understand how the process works, understand how Prince William works, understand who represent them, and hold them accountable if it's possible, right? Because I think we have to hold our representative accountable. They have to start thinking that we all part of Prince William, that they don't represent just only one community, they represent all of us, and their policy should reflect that. We have joined together through Basir with other organizations, and working in coalition is great because it gives us a really an opportunity to bring more skills in the table, right? To unite our effort, not just only on the messaging, but also in the organizing part in our community. And I think it's a beauty because we are not alone. We are many organizations are working toward this, and that we want to end this. And we do understand this is just a start. And our community members are really excited that, at least for the first time, they see a lot of hope. A lot of hope on the board that we have, a lot of hope moving forward to change that type of policy. What I will say to people to support us, I will definitely say that they should write a letter to their own supervisors saying that we should end at 287G. They should sign up for the public hearing coming up on June 2nd. There is always an opportunity for us to speak up and say, we don't agree with this. You should end this program, right? And also there is opportunity coming up on June 17th when the jail board is going to be also meeting and talking about this, probably talking about this issue. We don't know the agenda yet, but we're getting ready for that. I think it's important for our allies to understand that this is a process, and it's a process for them to really support the community. And it's not just only supporting the immigrant undocumented community, it's definitely changing the view that we have on Prince William. Is definitely giving an opportunity to everyone to be seen as a human being, right? This is a human being issue, and we all should have the same rights. We don't see why it has to be a different process for someone just because of the undocumented issue, or just because how we look at this point. So it's time to end it, and I think our supporters should join that. Also, we do have the petition. I think we're sharing the petition. But we had a petition that people can also sign up on support. But there's so many ways that people can join us and fight this fight with us. I think we need as many as we can.
Yes, thank you. So Louise, do you mind talking to us what action steps that we could take? I know Basir has a petition with all their coalition members that are fighting to end 287G, just like Evelyn said. It's a collective effort. And as well as VICPP has their own petition to gather people of faith and goodwill and get behind this issue.
Yeah, so if you go to the Basir petition, it will not only ask you, and I strongly encourage, if you're listening from or watching from Prince William County, to go in there and sign this. But even if you're not, the petition offers ways for people to get involved, whether it is public speaking or reaching out to representatives, but there's other ways to get involved. So I would encourage people to sign up, because that means that you'll be able to stay in touch for many other ways to support this, because this really needs support. It's gonna take all of us. The undocumented community has been living in the margins for too long, and it is at time for everybody to join to address what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Brenda, we have a question for our viewer from one of our viewers, Kalia Harris. She's also a badass within the movement. She wants to know if you can speak on some of the federal implication of these jail board appointments and also the upcoming meeting on the supervisor, and what would it mean with this decision? So I'm not sure if you can speak on it a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So these jail board appointments that we just made last week at our previous board meeting were to the regional jail board for the adult detention center. So that includes Manassas City, Manassas Park, and Prince William County. We ended up voting on 3 progressive members to the jail board who we know are not only about 287G, because we definitely need to get rid of 287G, but are about progressive criminal justice here in our region. So those were the 3 jail board appointments that we made. And in this upcoming meeting, unfortunately, at the last meeting, one of the supervisors did a very political appointment at the very, very end at 2 a.m. when everyone was asleep, and said that she was going to try to replace one of our current seats with the county executive, that is a fixed seat, to another supervisor who is staunchly very much in support of 287G, a Latino herself. And so, what we're trying to do here with these appointments and what we're asking people to come speak on is really all about, opposing that nomination that was made at the previous meeting, and making sure that you continue to say, the problems with 287G and that we need to get rid of it as a community now if we want to be inclusive.
And so that brings me to another question, and I think another point that this show that the supervisor that is a Latinx woman that is pro 287G just shows that the community, the Latinx community, is not monolithic. So Evelyn, I know since you are in the grounds, what does this really like? The appointment, let's say if the appointment of Supervisor Vega would mean for the community. Like as I mentioned, that shows the Latinx community is like not monolithic.
I think at this point for us, it's going to be continue with what we have already, right? Which is anti-immigrant policy in place. I think it will be really devastating, number one, not just imagining, right? Also, we're talking about someone who is, parents from El Salvador coming in aboard with this agenda in hands, right? It's something that our community, at some points, I think we were not expecting that. But this mean moving forward. This mean probably not moving forward Prince William the right way, right? It's mean we're gonna, I don't think it's a good idea. Our community members think it's not a good idea because we do want to create a change, because our community do want to see a change in Prince William, and this is the opportunity to do it. And I think that's why we're doing a lot of work to ensure that our people understand what's happening and how they can raise their voice and be part of this process. Because it is important to be in the table. It is important for them to understand what is happening right now, right? And it's not right. It's not right because we have suffering so much through this. And I say we because I have been living in Prince William myself for 20 years. I have seen how this county have improved in some way, and I see how this county has really discriminated people like me. And it is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable, and our community know that, and our community is ready to be part of this process. I think for the first time after 2007, our people is willing to take a stand and speak up on themselves and say, enough is enough, we want change. And hopefully the change is going to come. I have a lot of hope that the supervisors will take the right decision on Tuesday. And I have a lot of hope that it will be for good for the whole community, not just only for some people in the community.
And so, Brenda, I don't know if you can speak to what are some next steps people that are here watching could do. Like you mentioned, they can sign up to be speakers, or they can sent a letter to their supervisor. Like, can you just talk to about us in that process? So in case people don't know, because like I myself, I was not even sure what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Janet. You know, we're really encouraging first and foremost that people sign up to speak. Prince William County residents. They're going to ask you for your district, so what area in Prince William County you live in, and they're going to give you 3 minutes to speak. If you are a Spanish speaker primarily, please let us know. We will try to arrange a translator for you, so please don't let that be a barrier in you coming out to speak. So that's number one. You get 3 minutes whether you speak Spanish or not, and then there will be a translator. Number two, we have a Speak Up. Prince William County Speak Up is a way for people to comment on agenda items. And if that link isn't shared, I am happy to share that as well. And then the last two, which I think are very powerful still, are writing emails to your supervisors. You know, bocs@pwc.org. That sends an email to all of our supervisors simultaneously and send them exactly what your thoughts are. You know, tell them we cannot stand for 287G as a community anymore, and we need a progressive jail board. That's what the county is calling for, and that's what this county looks like as a majority-minority county. So those are the 3 ways. You know, you can also call the offices. One of the staffers will likely get it. You know, any way that you can get involved, get involved. Those are the 3 that I recommend. But of course, first and foremost, the best way is to come out and speak publicly against 287G and against this partisan nomination that was made at the very end of the previous meeting with Yesley Vega and Janine Lawson. So please come out and speak, give your voice, give your opinions, and don't be afraid. The Republicans will come out in masses when they do come out, and they won't stop. Because that, you know, and you allow them by not coming to speak for the community, and that's not what the community looks like anymore. So please, I encourage you to come speak for our brothers and sisters who are Latinos, who are minorities, the undocumented community. We need you. So please come out.
Wow, thank you. So Louise, can you all tell us about the next step also as well from Legal Aid Justice? I know that you there's also a push on the 2 Manassas representatives, which could be critical to this issue.
Yeah, so, you know, I think it's important to say that this jail board for the Prince William County jail is shared between City of Manassas and Prince William County. So while Prince William County has the biggest chunk of the seats, there are actually 2 seats in the jail board from City of Manassas. One is a citizen at large, and then the other is the police chief Keene of the City of Manassas. So anybody who's watching from City of Manassas, you can also sign the petition and say that you are from Manassas and that you would like to tell the people on the jail board and the police chief, as well as the city council that oversees the police department, to make a clear stance and end this harmful anti-immigrant policy.
That she translated that no matter what, if we don't know English, that we should come out. And there will be a show in Spanish, habrá un show en vivo en español a las 4. Espero que los que nos oigan puedan también participar, y vamos a estar hablando con Louisa Yola otra vez. Entonces, but anyways, and that said, we have another question from Kalia. Are there any similar programs here in Virginia as a 287G? I don't know if Evelyn or Louise can talk about it.
I could speak to it. Culpeper County actually has a 287G program, just like the one in Prince William County, and Legal Aid Justice Center has been involved in that effort too, alongside the local community there. There's been a lot of fighting there, and if Yanet from Culpeper is watching this, hola, I know she's been a strong fighter there. But there are also intergovernmental service agreements in places like Harrisonburg and various regional jails across the state of Virginia. So it doesn't just stop at the 287G in Prince William County. This is definitely a Virginia-wide issue.
Yes. So as we enter the program, because it's only 30 minutes, I just want to say if you have any last words for our viewers, for allies, even though we're in the pandemic, there's still ways to advocate and making sure our voices are not erased. So I don't know if, Evelyn, could you start again with a question, and then Louise, and then Brenda to close off?
Yes, I mean, definitely. Like I said, we're calling everyone to support this, right? To end the 287G. I think we are in this process that is so critical. I know we are in a pandemic mode. I know how that feels. I have been working with the community most of the time, providing food and all the resources needed. It's time to engage. It's time to engage to change the policies that are in place. It's time to change Prince William. And I think we're calling everyone to support this. We're calling everyone to be part of this process, right? And it's a call to everyone, whether you speak English or not, we are here, the organizations are here to support you through this process. Sign up to speak up, sign up the petition. We're gonna have it in Spanish and English. Be connected, connect to any organization and be active. It's a long process, but we're ready to take it. I think we wait so long. We wait since 2007, and I think we are at the point that we need to push harder, and we have to hold our representative accountable, and we have to ensure that they do what is right.
Yes, and so Louise, I know that you are based in Richmond, so we had a question on how they can be most effective, to be an ally, and I think this just intertwines with my question.
So I'll address Courtney. Thank you for your question. I think in Richmond locally, it's really important to engage with the sheriff, Irving, and law enforcement to find out how they are collaborating with ICE and pressure them to end that collaboration, because collaboration there is collaboration anywhere. But you can still sign the petition and get updates about what's going on in 287G for Prince William County. So even if you're in Richmond, you can still sign up and find ways to support. Now, as far as in general, as to sign up as closing comment, I think Evelyn has laid it out super clear. And I think, the immigrant community in Prince William County have made their demand very clear, and it's time for the Board of Supervisors to listen, and it's time for the Prince William County Jail Board to listen to them too.
Yes, and Brenda?
Thank you. Exactly right. It's time for our community to stand up and to speak out against this. Our Board of Supervisors, we're there, our office, we are there for you. We are advocating for you on that dais, but we need you. We need your voice. We need your activism. We need you to be involved. And we really can't do this without you. So please, I encourage everyone to sign up. The email is right there, bocs@pwcgov.org. Send emails, sign up. If you have any questions, reach out to our office, reach out to me. I'll make sure that our contact information is laid out as well. But like I said, we need all the help we can get. These folks have been the folks in the opposition have been activated for many, many years, and they think that this is still what the county looks like, and it's time to prove them wrong. So please, I encourage you to stand up, speak out with us, and come out to our meeting on June 2nd at 2 p.m.
Yes, thank you. And so all of our other petition links will be in the comments, as well as the information from each of you in case anybody wants to contact y'all. But again, thank you so much for sharing your time in this space with us. I know that there's some people that really were very informed, and I think that we still have these conversations that need to still be happening. So, and to anybody, please join us on our Spanish show at 4 with Louise. So again, thank you so much. The fight continues, and it's a collective movement, and we hope to one day to keep moving forward, to be what is actually here and how we can support our undocumented community. Again, to everybody, thank you so much, and thank you to each one of you. Like I mentioned, y'all are badasses, and I'm so glad to share this space with y'all.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much, Janet.
Se puede.